And Yet We Persist by the Reverend Gretchen Haley. Though we have been warned and given plenty of explanations, reasons to do otherwise, we have persisted to claim lives of joy and justice, to carve out this time, this space for renewal of our hearts. Despite all the reasons, the resistance fighting for our attention, luring us towards fear, we persist to practice gratitude for this day, this life that has been given, this chance to begin again. And so let us gather that we might offer one another courage, strength, healing, hope, and this promise to persist in kindness, persevere in compassion, and prevail in a life that is for more than ourselves. Come, let us worship together. Con espíritu de reverencia, reconocemos que nos juntamos en la tierra de los Kumeyaay. Al encender esta vela, reafirmamos nuestro compromiso de cultivar relaciones significativas con los habitantes de esta tierra y de trabajar juntos por la justicia y equidad.
In a spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather on the land of the Kumeyaay. As we light this candle, we affirm our commitment to cultivate meaningful relationships with the people of this land and to work together for justice and equity.
I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, Peace Like a River.
Like a
Good morning. Good morning, indeed. And welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, where we worship each Sunday in the South Bay, in Hillcrest, and online. Our mission is to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world. I am Louise Titlow, and I use the pronouns they, she, and I'm serving as our worship associate this morning. If you are visiting, I want to extend to you a special welcome. I invite you to fill out the visitor form in your order of service and return it to the welcome table. If you are joining us online, you can fill out a visitor form at the link on the live stream page or in the YouTube service description. We would love to connect with you. If you have been coming for a while and are starting to feel like this is your spiritual home, consider becoming a member of this beloved community. If you would like to explore what it means to be a member or have questions about the membership process, you are invited to meet with Newt Ferris right here at the front of the meeting house after the service.
Welcome to this space. Bring all of who you are in all the beauty of languages, cultures, and skin tones that come together in your uniqueness. You are welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender. You are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love. You are welcome here. In all the ways you live and move and experience your embodied self. You are welcome here. With all the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual life. You are welcome here. Together, may we live into our shared values with love at the center. It's good to be together. Please rise again, embody your spirit, and join in our church hymn and our church aspiration.
Friends, I'd like to invite any of the children who would like to come up and join Reverend Kristen and I for our time for all ages. We're going to learn and help teach you a song today.
Good morning. Hi, good morning. Wonderful. So good to see all of you this morning. So I'm so excited that we're going to learn this song together because recently I was at something called the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Institute for the Learning Ministry. So imagine hundreds of UU ministers coming together. And we were coming together right after a bunch of our colleagues had gone to Minnesota to stand in solidarity, and people were tired, right? The ministers were tired, they were coming together, and one of the things we do together as ministers is we worship together, because so often we're leading worship for all of you, and so sometimes we need someone to lead worship for us. And they introduced this song that we just loved, and it came from the Urban Voices Project, which is based in LA, and they do singing as a form of resilience and as a form of resistance, particularly with folks who are living on the streets in Los Angeles. And so I thought, I loved this song so much, and it was on theme, which is about resilience, which is about getting through hard times. So I wanted to share it with you. And so I'm going to teach you the words and the hand motions, and Tony is going to teach you the tune, because he sings much better than I do. So, okay, so the first words are, I've got the patience, and this is the hands. I've got the patience. Put them in a little namaste. And then to inhale, our hands go up. To exhale. I've got the energy to sing. So hand to the mouth and then lift it up. I've got the strength to keep on going. So I can rise again, hands up, so I can rise again. Can we try just saying it? I've got the patience to inhale, exhale. I've got the energy to sing. I've got the strength to keep on going, so I can rise again, so I can rise again. Tony, your turn.
So we're going to sing it one phrase at a time first before we go through. So I'll sing it, and then you can repeat that phrase. And we may as well do the hand motions again so we can lock those in too. So I've got the patience to inhale, exhale. Let's try that again.
I've got the patience to inhale, exhale.
I've got the energy to sing. Let's do that energy.
I've got the energy to sing. I've got the strength to keep on going, so I can rise again, rise again.
Then we have this part. Shooby-dooby-doo-wah-da. Shooby-dooby-doo-wah-da-da-da-da. Shooby-dooby-doo-wah-da. Shooby-dooby-doo-wah-da-da-da-da. Shooby-dooby-doo-wah-da. Shooby-dooby-doo-wah-da-da-da-da. Rise again. Let's stand up and try the whole thing.
Rise again. I've got the patience to inhale, exhale. I've got the energy
lovely. Thank you all. So there will be a test. We're going to leave, and you all are going to sing that again at the closing song. So I hope you remember it. So friends, up here, we're going to stand back up again and help me lead the congregation in our affirmation. We'll say it first in English and then in Spanish. We are
Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios, universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos, y manos que dan la bienvenida.
And now I invite all the children or youth who would like to join me and their other leaders on the patio. We'll head to our groups.
Good morning. My name is Valerie Jaquist. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a member of the nominating committee. Now, the nominating committee is responsible for finding candidates for the Board of Trustees. So, this year, we have one trustee position coming available. And I wanted to say, you know, I spent time on the board, as I'm sure many of you know, and I really found it very fulfilling. And it's a great place to be. You learn a lot about how the organization runs, and you get to spend a lot of time working with the staff and the ministry. It's a very enriching experience. You'll love it. You'll love it. So, you know, one person, I would love it. I would love it if we get like a whole bunch of people, so there's more people for next year, right? I would like to have a line out the door. All right. So if you are interested, you can contact me. I don't have my contact information here, but you can find me. I'm easy to find. Thank you very much.
We have a few other announcements. As we do each week, we have a lay minister who's available after the service to offer a listening presence. If you have a joy or a sorrow this morning, or you just would like someone to listen, look for Melinda, who's in the golden scarf. Also today, we have a tour, so if you are maybe new or you want to see all the different gems of the campus and learn a little bit about the history, I invite you to meet Matt Kaplan right here after the service. Matt's right there. We've got a lot going on today. There's also a grand reopening of the library. So we invite you to go and check out the library. Everything's now been cataloged and you can electronically check out books. So very cool, and so grateful to the folks who have done the work around our library reorganization. This coming weekend, we have a really wonderful opportunity. There is a singer-songwriter named Judd Caswell who's coming, and there will be a songwriting workshop from 1 to 4. So if you want to learn or hone your craft around songwriting, there's a concert the same night at 7:30 put on by Front Street Productions. And then finally, we have some celebrating to do today. February 12th is National Freedom to Marry Day. This celebrates the historic milestone of marriage equality and promotes the importance of marriage as a fundamental human right. I want to celebrate not just that day, but the role that this congregation played in that important work. This congregation was a leader on the No on Prop 8 campaign and helped to secure that fundamental human right for our beloveds. So let's celebrate National Freedom to Marry Day.
One of the ways that we live our values is by sharing our offering with an organization that works for justice. In the months of February and March, we share our offering with URISE. URISE is a local organization working for immigrant justice. Their work includes community education on legal rights and immigration pathways. workshops and technical assistance for community partners, and the faithful justice model that helps congregations deepen their commitment to immigrant justice and anti-oppression work. You can give through text to give at the number on the screen. You can also donate by cash or check in the boxes at the back of the meeting house, or online at our church website, firstuusandiego.org. Thank you so much for your generosity. The offering will now be gratefully received.
So today we're going to be going into this month's theme of embodying resilience. And so I want to invite us into a spiritual practice that's about awareness of the body. And so I'm going to invite you into something called a body scan. Please know any practice I ever invite you is always an invitation. So you should do what is right for your body, mind, and spirit. But I invite you now, if it feels good, that you might just shift in your seat a little bit and find the most comfortable seated position you can today. Maybe feel yourself sitting up tall. And you might draw your attention within. It might mean lowering your gaze or closing your eyes. And we're going to begin by just bringing our attention to our toes. And in a body scan, we just notice. No need to change anything, just bringing our present and loving attention. Bringing our attention to our toes, and then to the bottoms of our feet. Into the ankles. And then into the lower halves of our legs. Just noticing and breathing. To the knees. And then the upper half of the legs. Bringing awareness to how your body is in this moment. No need to change it or fix it. Drawing the attention into the pelvis. Then into the belly and the lower back. Drawing that energy and attention upward into the chest, to where the heart is, and the lungs. Just noticing and breathing. Drawing the attention to the shoulders. Down to the elbows. And the hands. Coming back up to the neck and the throat. Into the head. Just noticing. And now feeling your body as a whole thing, as one whole body. If there's anywhere where there was particular discomfort or pain, you might just offer it a little compassion, placing a hand. I see you. I feel you. knowing that no matter what we bring to this moment, we are whole and deserving of love and compassion. And I close this meditation with a reading by the Reverend Anna Blydell. Darling one, you precious mess, you exhausted, grieving, hollowed, hallowed, hallelujah of a human. Today, if even for a moment, may you feel your own beating heart, your own courageous core, your chest rising and falling with breath, which is spirit, which is life force, keeping pulse, marking time, finding space. Regardless of how you are feeling, no matter what you are capable of or not, for just a moment, may you find rest, a bit of ease, held in that sacred rhythm that cannot be without you, because you precious mess, have breath and heart and life force pulsing through you yet. Amen.
You
Have you ever come to the edge of your resilience? Just felt like I can't handle one more difficulty, one more challenge, one more tragedy. I can't be present to any more suffering or injustice. It's just too much. One of the periods that deeply challenged my resilience was when I trained as a chaplain resident in a hospital. My days often looked like this. Trauma Team Alpha was called overhead, and I made my way to the trauma room. There, I held the hand of a pregnant woman who was having a panic attack because she was in a car accident, and she was worried that her baby wouldn't be okay. I stood at the bedside and led a blessing as the family prepared to withdraw life support from their son, who was in a tragic accident. The large family was gathered around and sharing memories and crying and praying and holding their loved ones. A patient comes into the emergency department and they're having a psychological emergency, and they're yelling and agitated and frantic, and they call in the chaplains to help calm everyone down and to help the staff recover. Code Blue is called overhead. The nurses begin chest compressions as the rest of the team come to the bedside. The family is scared and they're pacing up and down the hallway. And the chaplain is pacing with them, breathing, their hand on their shoulder as the nurse is trying to revive their loved one. As a chaplain, I was intimate with suffering every day. And very quickly, I came to the edge of my ability to cope with being present to so much pain. I was tired and emotionally overwhelmed. I alternated between feeling numb and overflowing with grief. I had a particularly hard time transitioning from my work in the hospital back to engaging in the everyday tasks of my life. I didn't know how to go from blessing someone who had died to making small talk with my friend over dinner. It felt too hard. I looked around at the healthcare clinicians that I worked with, doctors and nurses, social workers and dietitians, aides, physical therapists, and I wondered, how do they do it? How are they resilient enough to bear this level of pain each day? I watched as they not only cared for people's bodies who were sick and dying, but they intervened in crisis after crisis, providing support to patients who are struggling with homelessness, child abuse, addiction, domestic violence, and assault. Now, as I worked at the hospital a little bit longer and I got to know my colleagues better, I saw both signs of resilience and that they were also struggling. And I started to search for a deeper understanding about what was happening to all of us. There were many theories: vicarious trauma, secondary traumatic stress, compassion fatigue, burnout. All of them carried them with this idea that to hurt because someone else is suffering is somehow pathological. That if a clinician just had good enough boundaries and enough self-care, that they wouldn't feel this way. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense because I looked around and everyone was struggling, and I found studies that said that 85% of emergency room nurses experience signs of secondary traumatic stress. Irritability, avoidance of clients, not wanting to go to work, difficulty sleeping, intrusive thoughts, diminished activity level, emotional numbing. And I wondered, if almost every emergency room department nurse was struggling, how could this possibly be pathological? Where I did find some answers that helped and made sense to me was in a book called Trauma Stewardship by Laura Vandernoot-Lipsky and Connie Burke. They introduced the idea of trauma exposure response. They define it this way: the transformation that takes place in us as a result of exposure to the suffering of living beings and the planet. What happens to us when we're exposed to the suffering of living beings and the planet? They affirm that being in relationship with people experiencing trauma affects us, not just some of us, all of us. Trauma exposure response is a universal human experience. It is human to hurt when other beings hurt. When have you been affected by the suffering of someone else? Maybe it was someone close to you who is in crisis. Maybe you also work or volunteer in a field where you accompany people who suffer. Maybe it's seeing people living in the streets, struggling to survive. Maybe it's when you hear about another mass shooting, a climate-driven natural disaster, when people see children torn away from their families at the border, another war, another genocide, the corruption of our democracy, or this pervasive hate that is harming so many people. I don't know about you, but it feels relentless to me. And although it's natural and it's universal, it's human to feel the pain of other living beings, it really impacts us. It impacts our well-being, our ability to feel like we can keep on going, keep showing up with open hearts, that we can keep being present with one another and with our lives. And so I want to talk with you a little bit about these signs of trauma exposure response. For those who are in the room, you have a handout in your order of service. And for those who are online, they're going to show this on the screen. So these are the 16 signs of trauma exposure response. And I want you, as you're hearing them, to just pay attention. Do any of these resonate with your own experience? Feeling helpless and hopeless. Feeling overly responsible for the troubled situations and imagining that it's gonna be hard forever. A sense that you can never do enough. That if you just worked a little bit harder, learned a little bit more, cared a little bit more, you might be able to make everything okay. Hypervigilance. This attempt to restore safety by preventing further pain and anticipating and recognizing potential threats everywhere. This is particularly common for those of us who've survived trauma ourselves. Diminished creativity. Feeling bored, like you can't remember a time when you were creative, you have less joy and less innovation. An inability to embrace complexity, craving clear demarcations. This is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. Saying no all the time, being dogmatic, inflexible. Minimizing. Becoming inoculated against others' pain, losing our empathy and our compassion. Chronic exhaustion. Now I'm talking about regular tiredness, I'm talking about fatigued in every cell of our being, bone tired, soul tired, heart tired kind of exhaustion. The kind of exhaustion when you can't remember a time when you weren't tired. The inability to listen or deliberate avoidance, not wanting to go to work, to do the home visit, to answer the phone, or to respond to the email. Disassociative moments. This is often when you're in the middle of something and it's just too much, and you start to have intrusive thoughts, or you just kind of peace out. You're like, I'm not here. I can't be present for this. A sense of persecution, that others are responsible for how we're feeling. A sense of guilt, feeling guilty for the larger socio-political context. Fear, particularly of intense feelings and personal vulnerability. anger and cynicism, a kind of overwhelming anger that doesn't go away. Inability to empathize, numbing. This is often the result of having so much come in that you're like saturated like a sponge that needs to be wrung out because it can't take anything more in. Sometimes this looks like making ourselves intentionally busy or productive so that we can't feel any of it. Addiction, drugs, alcohol, food, sex, overwork. Grandiosity, an inflated sense of importance related to one's work. If I don't do it, who will? I am responsible for it all. Do you recognize any of these signs? Have you ever struggled in these ways? Perhaps you're struggling with some of them right now. As we reflect this month on what it means to embody resilience, learning how to be with suffering is essential. Because learning to be resilient starts with acknowledging that life can and will be difficult. We will encounter challenges. We will suffer loss. We will experience trauma, and we will witness the pain of others. At times, it feels like these experiences break us. And at other times, they just break us open even further. I wish, my friends, that we did not have to be so resilient. But it seems like that's what's being asked of us in this time. Resilience is about what we do with these life-transforming experiences, how we make meaning out of them and heal and integrate them. And although our culture teaches that resilience is this individual pursuit, it's both about the resources we find within ourselves and the loving support we receive from our families and communities that help us through. In trauma stewardship, they say that the ways that we transform exposure to trauma into meaningful growth is about developing the ability to stay present in the moment of suffering, to find ways to digest and integrate those experiences, and to have compassion for ourselves and others, to have compassion for how hard it is sometimes to be a human being. Practices that cultivate resilience are about attending to the heart and to the spirit, but also our bodies. The authors explain that undischarged energy, the things that happen when we encounter extreme suffering or trauma, they can get lodged in the body and they form the seeds of trauma. And so we need to create pathways so that that energy can make a way out. Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, explains that trauma lodges in the body. It has associated images and sounds and sensations that make us hypersensitive or not able to feel at all. And so in order to heal from trauma, we need physical experiences like dancing and singing, crying and laughing to help us discharge all those stress hormones and to help us feel safe again in our bodies. Van der Kolk especially says that it's important to be mindful about when we engage with the body, and that engaging with the breath is particularly important because the breath resets the mind and it resets the nervous system. And so by the spring of my year as a chaplain resident, I developed a set of practices that helped me cope with the daily suffering. When I came home from the hospital, I went straight to the garden. I took off my shoes and I placed my feet onto the earth. I sat on my back steps, I closed my eyes, and I took a few deep breaths. And then when I was sitting there, I would start reviewing the day. I would remember the moment I woke up and how I felt. And I'd start moving through the day, and I'd remember when I first arrived at the hospital and the faces of the people I saw. I'd re-encounter all the experiences with the patients and their families. I would take a moment to feel the feelings that I couldn't feel in the moment because it was too fast-paced or too intense, or I had to be in a role where I had to hold it all together. Sometimes I had these moments where I remembered a smile or a beautiful encounter that I had missed. More often, I wept on the back of my steps. And that may seem sad, but weeping for 5 minutes was better than carrying it around with me all the time. And so I'd get through the whole day, and when I got back to the moment where I was in the garden, I would pray. I would say, Spirit of life and love, thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to be of service. Thank you for helping me to show up for all these people who are suffering. I ask now that I turn them over to you. I ask that you hold them and love them so that I can rest and I can be restored. And after I did that, I did some embodied practices. I would take some deep breaths. I'd be, really letting it go, and I would shake, and I would move my body, and I'd imagine all that stress and all that adrenaline and all those hormones coursing through my body, finding a way out and entering into the earth. And then I would invite some nourishment, a yoga practice that was always helpful for me, which was I would reach up to the sky, invite the sky into my heart, reach out to the earth, and allow the earth to come in to my heart. And the last part of my daily practice was I would do something called metta meditation. In the Buddhist tradition, loving kindness. And I'd start with myself. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be joyful. May I be peaceful and at ease. And then I'd think about all the people who I had met that day, and I'd send the wishes to them. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be joyful. May you be peaceful and at ease. And then I extended out one more circle to all the beings suffering, to all living things. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be joyful. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. These were my practices. They might not be yours, but I think we do need practices in these times. Things that help us to digest our experience. When I went through organizer training, I had this nun tell me that organizers don't burn out because of too much activity. They burn out because of too much undigested experience. Digest and integrate. Let it go. Find ways to allow those pathways out of your body so the trauma doesn't lodge there. Have some compassion for your own pain and the pain of others. What are your resilience practices? What helps you get through hard times? May some of the practices we shared today help us stay present in the midst of suffering, to integrate our experience and to encounter moments of healing. May we be well, and may we continue to work towards a world in which all beings are healthy and safe, joyful, peaceful, and at ease. Blessed be. and amen.
We invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, Rise Again. Kristen will lead you in the motions as we sing. I've got patience to inhale, exhale. I've got the energy to sing. I've got the strength to keep on going, so I can rise again, so I can rise again. Shooby-dooby-doo-wah, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, da-da-da, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, da-da-da, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, da-da-da. Rise again, rise again. I've got patience to inhale, exhale. I've got the energy to sing. I've got the strength to keep on going, so I can rise again, so I can rise again. Shooby-dooby-doo-wah, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, da-da-da, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, da-da-da, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, shooby-dooby-doo-wah, da-da-da. Rise again, rise again. I've got the patience to inhale, exhale. I've got the energy to sing. I've got the strength to keep on going, so I can rise again, rise again.
May together we support one another to rise again, to have the patience to breathe and to move our bodies and to show up for one another with love, because we need every single one of you. And we will move through this all together. Blessed be, and go in peace.